Hey everybody, my name is Brian Chase. I'm the president of Chase Aviation Company. We buy and sell airplanes for people in the aviation consulting business. I get a lot of people that I come across that when I tell them what I do for a living, they think it's just the coolest thing in the world. So I finally decided, after lots of people have told me that I need to do this, to start making videos of kind of what I do for a living. I kind of take for granted some of the things that we get to do. A lot of times, if I was doing this, you'd just see me sitting there typing away at a computer. But once in a while, a couple times a month, we get to go travel and go do demo flights and go see helicopters and people all over the world. So this is Tuesday evening, and tomorrow we're going to be getting up nice and early, heading to Orlando, Florida, and hopping in a Eurocopter Airbus EC130T2 and flying from there back home here to Charleston, South Carolina, and really looking forward to it.
It's early. This is the new terminal renovation that they did at CHS. Did a really good job with it. Headed to Charlotte. So my home security camera picked up my wife and kid leaving for school, so I got to see them off for the day. That was kind of cool. Gotta love modern technology. I tried to do one of those time-lapse videos of the sunrise. Didn't turn out too bad. Only a couple minutes late leaving the gate. Not too bad. Children screaming in the background. I just love flying through the clouds like this. I think this is half the reason I became a pilot, so I had to record this. Again, it's a time lapse.
Brian. Yeah, I'd love to.
You ever sell any smaller aircraft?
Yeah,
He does everything. They got a nice,
do a little bit of everything.
They got a nice little plane of little guys that are low.
Yeah.
So this is the startup sequence on the EC130T2. You can hear back chatter of the conversation between another passenger and I. Great guy. I guess I won't put his name out there, but had a great conversation, great flight, and maybe a future customer. We're getting ready to taxi here. You can't hear, obviously. I didn't have air traffic control plugged into this video, but they just cleared us to taxi. You can see Kevin pulling up on the collective there. Gonna get us off the ground here in just a second. And we're off. They say taxi in the helicopter world, but what that really means is that they fly really low and slow. It's a very weird sensation. And we landed again. So Kevin's pulling back on the collective. We're cleared for takeoff, and we're just off the ground here in a second. We're going to be turning left and heading up the field for a westward departure. I've bought and sold a lot of helicopters, but as a fixed-wing pilot, it's still the weirdest thing to be able to take off like this from a taxiway or a ramp, whatever you call this area. It just feels so wrong. So here we are at Daytona Beach, just cut over from Orlando, basically followed I-4 over to Daytona and taken the shoreline north. This is a really cool part of town for me. This is where I went to college at Embry-Riddle, and so I know this area really well. In fact, you can, up here in just a second, you'll hear me say, man, I drank a lot of beer there. You just barely hear it in the video. I was wrong. It was more like down this way where we used to hang out. I think that's the City Walk right there. There was a really big concert we went to right there at that pavilion there too. And I think it was called 210 North was the big bar underneath that big hotel. And that strip was where everyone did the Riddle pub crawl. So here we are in St. Augustine, Florida, just coming up the coast to it now. Beautiful, beautiful place. That's the inlet, I believe, and then this is Ponte Vedra over here. So here we are coming in for landing at the St. Augustine Airport. Been there a few times, just never in a helicopter before. It's another kind of cool experience. They just bring you in over midfield, and they're going to put us down right there at the runway 6. But I've said this a couple times now in the video. It's really, as a fixed wing guy, it's a strange sensation to be being put right over top of the FBO. And then sent over to the runway quite like this at these altitudes. So they're going to put us over runway 6 and then we'll stop real quick. And then they'll give us the clearance to taxi over to the ramp. So we learned on this flight that Airbus helicopters, you always take a right turn when you're under loads like that, close to the ground. It's just because of the way that the rotors turn, and the tail rotor has a lot more authority to turn in that direction than it does the opposite direction. So you don't want to over torque it. So we're going to take another 270-degree turn here. We're there. So here we are. We got to go see this boater. It's a flyby. That was pretty cool. I really wish we'd been playing Flight of the Valkyrie over that, but can't do it. I can't even play it on this video. I'll violate a copyright law. So the EC130T2 is actually a very, very high performance helicopter, VIP helicopter aerial tour stuff. We're at 5,000 feet here, and we actually got up there pretty quickly. We're climbing about 400 to 500 feet per minute, which is, for as many people as we had on board, that's pretty impressive. So we were testing out a new piece of avionics equipment, and one of the things that they needed to do was get it up to altitude and see how it performed up there. So here we go even higher, actually. We're at 7,000 feet this time over Brunswick, Georgia, I believe. So the weather started to roll in. You can actually see a little bit of a rainbow over there off to the right, just briefly. But it's a VFR only helicopter, as most single engine helicopters are, so we had to dodge some storms, but it's beautiful off to the west. We're getting towards the end of a long day at this point. I'm just getting pretty videos of sunsets. This is the area north of Hilton Head. This whole area we call the low country, and you can see why. It's low tide and there's not much out there. And here we are coming back into Charleston. That's the Charleston Air Force Base side over there. Lots of C-17 sitting. Again, I know I've said it a couple of times now, but this is the strangest sensation when you're a fixed-wing pilot and you're flying in between runways, over taxiways, and you're going to go land directly at the ramp. My skin was just crawling the whole time, thinking of incursions and everything else. But really, when you think about it, if you're a helicopter, the best place to be is midfield, where there's not going to be any airplanes. So we're coming to land. This is Chase Aviation's office here in this right corner, underneath the Atlantic sign. Suite 106. And Octavia is coming out to get us, out to save us. Pretty full ramp this evening. It was, I don't know what was going on. There's a lot of people there. But they keep this area usually open for helicopters, and thankfully it was open because I don't think there was another space out there.
Everybody, thanks for watching this video. I've enjoyed putting it together. We had an awesome time shooting it and being a part of it. Unfortunately, one of the things that I always forget, and one of the reasons I don't do a lot of these videos, is because if you'll notice, if you're tracking the video along the way, we get off the airplane in Orlando and then we cut right to the starting of the helicopter. I'm already sitting in the back seat, and you don't actually see the helicopter. I had this grand idea that I was going to be walking up to it with my selfie stick, being all cool, hopping on this starting helicopter. And unfortunately, we just can't do that because we're not allowed to show who our clients are and this type of machines that we bought for them. So in the future, we're hoping to be able to do that, but it wasn't able to in this case. So please subscribe to our channel, like and share, and do whatever the heck people do to these videos to get the word out there. If we get enough subscribers, I think if we get to about 100 subscribers, we'll keep the videos going. It'll be worth it. It's a lot of work to edit these things, but it's been a lot of fun. So thanks, everyone.